Imagine holding a secret in your hands, a secret so old that its creators have turned to dust, their world vanished beneath the layers of time. This is the feeling the Phaistos Disc gives us. It is a small, unassuming circle of baked clay discovered on the sun-drenched island of Crete. Yet this humble object holds one of the greatest mysteries of the ancient world. It speaks to us across nearly 4,000 years, but we cannot understand its language. Its message remains locked away, a silent voice from the Bronze Age that continues to challenge and fascinate us. The disc is a tangible piece of a lost civilization, a puzzle that tantalizes us with the promise of knowledge. If only we could find the key. The allure of the Phaistos Disc lies in its profound silence. While other ancient cultures left behind grand monuments and extensive libraries of texts, the Minoans of Crete were more enigmatic. The disc is one of their most intimate and puzzling legacies. It is not a colossal statue or the wall of a great temple. It is a portable, personal-seeming object. One can almost picture the hands that carefully pressed each symbol into the wet clay, arranging them in their beautiful spiral. What thoughts were they trying to preserve? Was it a story, a sacred chant, a list of goods, or something else entirely? Every theory we propose is just a guess, a shadow cast by our own modern minds trying to penetrate the thoughts of people so distant from us. This small clay disc, no larger than a modern side plate, has generated more debate and speculation than artifacts 1,000 times its size. Its mystery is not just an academic problem for archaeologists and linguists to solve in quiet university halls. It has captured the public imagination, becoming a symbol of all that we have lost and all that we still hope to find. The disc reminds us that history is not a closed book of facts, but a living, breathing story with pages yet to be read. It represents the ultimate cold case, a message in a bottle cast into the sea of time, waiting for someone to finally decipher its meaning and reveal the secrets it has guarded for millennia. On this day, August 30th, 2025, the disc sits safely behind glass in the Heracleion Archaeological Museum in Crete, viewed by thousands of curious visitors each year. Each person who looks upon it feels a connection to that distant past. They see the carefully crafted symbols, a plumed helmet, a running man, a flower, a ship, and they wonder. The disc's power is in this shared sense of wonder. It's a direct link to the human impulse to communicate, to record our world, and to leave a mark for the future. As long as it remains undeciphered, the Phaistos Disc will continue to be a powerful testament to the enduring mysteries that lie at the very heart of human history. The story of the Phaistos Disc begins on a hot summer day on July 3, 1908. An Italian archaeologist named Luigi Pernier was leading an excavation at the ancient Minoan palace of Phaistos on the southern coast of Crete. This magnificent site, second only to the great palace of Knossos, was once a thriving center of Minoan civilization. For years, archaeologists had been carefully sifting through its ruins, uncovering pottery, frescoes, and the remnants of a powerful and sophisticated culture. They were working in a part of the palace complex that appeared to be an underground storeroom, a place where valuable items might have been kept safe from intruders or the ravages of time. As Pernier's team carefully cleared away the earth and debris from a small sealed chamber, they came across a collection of artifacts. There, lying amongst burnt cattle bones and a broken tablet written in the known Minoan script of Linear A, was something extraordinary. It was a flat, circular disc of fired clay. At first, it might not have seemed like much, just another piece of ancient pottery, but as Pernier brushed the dirt from its surface, he saw it was covered on both sides with a spiral of stamped symbols, unlike anything he'd ever seen before. The air in that dusty chamber must have been thick with excitement and confusion as he realized he was holding a unique artifact, a complete one-off from the ancient world. The context of the discovery was as puzzling as the disc itself. It was found in a layer of earth that suggested it came from the Middle Minoan period, around 1700 BCE. This means the disc is nearly 4,000 years old. The chamber where it was found had been sealed and destroyed, likely by an earthquake or a fire that consumed the old palace. This act of destruction, however, was what preserved the disc for us. It lay undisturbed for centuries, a silent witness to the cataclysm that brought down the world around it. The presence of the Linear A tablet nearby offered a clue to its age, but no help in understanding its strange script. Luigi Pernier knew immediately that he had found something of incredible importance. He carefully packed the disc and sent it to be studied, and its discovery was soon announced to the world. The news ignited the imaginations of scholars and the public alike. Here was a text from a lost world, written in a language that was utterly unknown. It was not carved by hand but printed with individual stamps, making it one of the earliest known examples of typography. The find was a bombshell in the world of archaeology, presenting a puzzle that promised to unlock new secrets about the mysterious Minoans, but offered no easy answers. The disc's journey from a forgotten palace storeroom to a global icon of mystery had just begun. What makes the Phaistos Disc so visually captivating is its unique and beautiful design. Both sides of the terracotta disc are covered with a mesmerizing spiral of symbols. The spiral starts at the edge and winds its way inward toward the center, creating a pathway for the eye to follow. This is not a random collection of doodles. It is a carefully organized script. The symbols are arranged into groups separated by vertical lines as if they form words or phrases. Reading a text that spirals inwards is very unusual, and it immediately suggests a narrative flow, a story or a chart that unfolds as you turn the disc in your hands. This physical interaction makes the object feel dynamic and alive. The symbols themselves are a gallery of miniature pictures, a visual vocabulary from the Minoan world. There are 242 impressions in total on the disc, made from a set of 45 distinct stamps. This small, defined number of symbols suggests a syllabic script, where each sign represents a syllable, like button, cape, or rope, rather than an alphabet where each sign is a single letter. Among these symbols, we can recognize figures and objects from daily life. There is a man wearing a striking feathered headdress, a woman with her hair in an elaborate style, a running child, a captive with his hands tied behind his back, and various animals like a cat, a ram, and a bird. There are also tools, weapons, plants, and even a ship. The creation of the disc is another part of its marvel. The symbols were not inscribed by hand with a stylus, which was the common method for writing on clay tablets at the time. Instead, each symbol was pressed into the wet clay using a pre-made stamp or punch. This makes the Phaistos Disc a very early example of printing with movable type. The idea of creating individual stamps for each character and then arranging them to form a text was a revolutionary concept for its time. It suggests that whoever made the disc might have intended to produce more documents like it, though no other examples have ever been found. The clarity and uniformity of the impressions show a high level of skill and care. The combination of the spiral layout and the pictographic symbols gives the disc an almost magical quality. It feels both like a text to be read and a work of art to be admired. The spiral could represent a journey, the cyclical nature of time, or perhaps a coiled snake, a powerful symbol in many ancient religions. The pictorial nature of the signs makes them feel accessible, as if we should be able to understand them, yet their true meaning remains just out of reach. This tension between what we can see and what we cannot understand is what makes the disc's design so powerful. It is a masterpiece of ancient information design, a spiral of secrets that continues to draw us in. To understand just how unique the Phaistos Disc is, we must look at it alongside the other known scripts of Minoan Crete. The Minoans had developed their own writing systems long before the disc was created. The earliest was a form of hieroglyphics, similar in concept to the Egyptian system but distinctly Cretan. Following this, two other scripts emerged, Linear A and Linear B. Linear B was famously deciphered in the 1950s by Michael Ventris, who proved it was an early form of Greek used by the later Mycenaean civilization that came to dominate Crete. The decipherment of Linear B was a huge breakthrough, allowing us to read thousands of administrative tablets from Knossos and the Greek mainland. Linear A, however, remains undeciphered. It was the primary script of the Minoans themselves, used for administrative and religious purposes. While we cannot read Linear A, we can recognize its characters, and we understand its function from the tablets on which it was written, mostly lists of commodities, personnel, and livestock. When we place the Phaistos Disc next to a Linear A or Linear B tablet, the difference is immediate and striking. The scripts on the tablets are abstract and linear, made of simple lines and curves. The disc, on the other hand, is pictographic, with its symbols representing recognizable objects and figures. There is almost no overlap between the 45 symbols on the disc and the characters of linear A or B. This profound difference has led to a major debate among scholars. Where did this script come from? Some experts believe the disc is a local Cretan invention, perhaps a special ceremonial script used only for a specific purpose that was different from the everyday record-keeping of linear A. It might have been a sacred script used by priests for rituals whose pictorial nature was meant to have a special visual power. The feathered headdress symbol, for example, has been compared to helmets worn by the Sea People's warriors who roamed the Mediterranean, suggesting a connection to foreign lands. This has led others to propose that the disc was not made on Crete at all, but was brought from somewhere else, perhaps Anatolia, modern-day Turkey, or even further afield. The fact that the Phaistos Disc remains a complete singleton, an artifact with no parallel, is the biggest obstacle to its understanding. For a script to be deciphered, scholars usually need a large number of texts to identify patterns, or a bilingual text like the Rosetta Stone, which presents the same message in both a known and an unknown language. The disc gives us neither. We have only this one short, spiraling text. Its language is an orphan, with no known parents or children. It stands completely alone, a linguistic island in the sea of ancient Mediterranean scripts, making it one of the most stubborn and fascinating code-breaking challenges in history. With the script of the Phaistos Disc still shrouded in mystery, scholars have well turned their attention to what its purpose might have been. The theories you see are as varied and imaginative as the symbols themselves. One of the most popular and enduring ideas is that the disc records a religious hymn or a prayer. The spiral form could guide a person chanting the words, perhaps during a ceremony. The repetition of certain groups of symbols, particularly the combination of the plumed head, shield, and column, might be a refrain or the name of a deity. The pictorial nature of the signs would add to the sacred atmosphere, visually representing the concept being invoked. This theory paints a picture of a Minoan priest holding the disc, turning it slowly while reciting its ancient verses to a god or goddess. Another compelling theory suggests the disc might be a kind of ancient board game. The spiral track could serve as a path for game pieces, with the different symbols indicating certain actions, rewards, or penalties. Imagine players moving their tokens from the edge to the center, their journey dictated by the roll of dice or the spin of a wheel. Games with spiral boards, such as the ancient Egyptian game of Minoan, the snake game, were known in the Bronze Age. This idea transforms the disc from a solemn religious object into something joyful and social, a glimpse into the leisure time of the Minoans. It is an attractive theory because it feels, well, so human and relatable, reminding us that ancient people also played and entertained themselves. A third line of thought proposes that the disc is a practical document, perhaps an astronomical calendar or a farmer's almanac. The spiral could represent the cycle of the year, with the symbols marking important dates for planting, harvesting, or religious festivals tied to the seasons. The 31 sections on one side and 30 on the other could correspond to the days of a month or the cycles of the moon. This interpretation sees the disc not as a sacred text, but as a tool for organizing society and agriculture. It would have been an object of immense value, holding the knowledge necessary for survival and prosperity. This theory grounds the disc in the practical realities of Minoan life, connecting it to their relationship with the natural world. Ultimately, without being able to read the text, all these theories remain speculative. The disc could also be a legal document, a treaty between two cities, a magical incantation, a story of a great battle, or even a sample sheet created by a skilled artisan to show off their set of symbol stamps. Each theory opens up a different window into the Minoan world. Is it a world of deep piety, of playful competition, or of pragmatic innovation? The disc's physical form supports many possibilities. Its careful construction suggests importance, but its small, portable size makes its exact function hard to pin down. The mystery of its purpose is therefore just as deep as the mystery of its language. The quest to decipher the Phaistos Disc is, honestly, a story filled with brilliant minds, painstaking work, and, well, more than a few frustrating dead ends. For over a century, linguists, archaeologists, and even amateur enthusiasts have thrown themselves at this puzzle, each hoping to be the one to finally break the code. The challenge is immense. The first, and perhaps the most significant problem, is the lack of more examples. With only 242 characters in total, there simply isn't enough text to perform the statistical analysis that is usually required to decode an unknown script. Cryptographers need to see how often characters appear and in what combinations, but the disk's text is just too short to establish reliable patterns. It's like trying to learn English by reading a single short poem. Many attempts have started by trying to identify the language of the disk. Is it a form of Minoan related to the language of Linear A? Is it an early form of Greek like Linear B? Or is it a language from elsewhere in the ancient world, such as Anatolian Luwian, a Semitic language from the Levant, or even a Caucasian language from the region of Georgia? Scholars have proposed all of these, and honestly even more. Each proposed language leads to a different interpretation of the symbols. For example, if one assumes the language is Greek, they will try to assign Greek syllabic values to the signs. If they assume it is Luwian, they will use Luwian values. The problem is that without external proof, there is just no way to confirm if any of these starting assumptions are correct. Over the years, dozens of proposed decipherments have been published, each claiming to have solved the mystery. Some have been praised for their rigorous methodology, while others have been quickly dismissed as wishful thinking. For example, some scholars have focused on identifying key words that repeat like the group of symbols featuring the plumed head. One popular attempt translated this group as the name of a goddess, a fire, or maybe a king. Another scholar, Gareth Owens, has spent years arguing that the disk is written in the Minoan language and that it is a religious text dedicated to a mother goddess, based on comparisons with Linear A. While his work is respected, it is not universally accepted because it cannot be independently verified. The fundamental difficulty remains the same. Any proposed translation cannot be proven right or wrong without a Rosetta Stone equivalent, a parallel text in a known language, or the discovery of more artifacts with the same script. The Phaistos Disc remains a cryptographer's nightmare. It is a locked room mystery with no key. Every attempt to open the door is based on a guess about what the key might look like. While the work continues, the disk serves as a powerful reminder of the limits of our knowledge. It is a humbling object that has resisted some of the best efforts of modern scholarship, keeping its ancient secrets securely locked within its clay spiral. The Phaistos Disc is not just an isolated puzzle, it is a product of one of the most fascinating cultures of the ancient world, the Minoans. Flourishing on the island of Crete from around 2700 to 1450 BCE, the Minoans were a vibrant Bronze Age civilization. They were renowned sailors and traders who built magnificent palaces at Knossos, Phaistos, and Malea. Their culture was sophisticated and, interestingly, seemingly peaceful, as their palaces lacked the massive defensive walls common in other ancient societies. They created stunning art filled with scenes of nature, graceful figures, and powerful symbols like the bull and the double axe, or labris, from which the legend of the labyrinth may have originated. The disc is a window into this rich and complex world. The symbols on the disc seem to be drawn directly from Minoan life and art. The image of the ship with its high prow is very similar to depictions of Minoan vessels found in frescoes and on pottery. The architectural symbols, like the column and what appears to be a building, evoke the unique style of Minoan palaces. The figures of the man and woman, with their narrow waists and distinctive hairstyles, look like the people we see in the famous frescoes from Knossos. Even the plants and animals, like the lily flower and the cat, were important motifs in Minoan art. This strong visual connection makes it almost certain that the disc is deeply rooted in the Minoan cultural environment, whether it was made on Crete or simply used there. The famous myth of King Minos, the Minotaur, and the labyrinth might also hold clues. These stories, told by later Greeks, paint a picture of Crete as a place of immense power, mystery, and ancient secrets. The labyrinth itself, a complex maze, is a powerful metaphor for the disc's own spiraling, unsolvable nature. Could the disc contain a story related to these myths, or a ritual text used by the priests and priestesses who served the Minoan gods? The The bull-leaping scenes in Minoan frescoes show a culture with a deep connection to powerful, dangerous rituals, and the disc could easily be an artifact from that sacred world. Its discovery in a palace, the center of both political and religious power, really reinforces this connection. However, the disc also challenges our understanding of the Minoans. The prominent symbol of the warrior with the plumed helmet is particularly puzzling. This type of helmet is not typically Minoan and is more closely associated with the Sea Peoples, a mysterious confederation of seafaring raiders who caused havoc across the eastern Mediterranean centuries later. Does this symbol mean the disc was made later than we think? Or did the Minoans have contact with these groups far earlier than previously believed? The disc forces us to ask new questions and reconsider what we thought we knew about Minoan connections to the outside world. It is a whisper from the past that both confirms and complicates our picture of this brilliant and enigmatic civilization. Where academic scholarship meets a dead end, speculation and imagination often rush in to fill the void. The Phaistos Disc, with its beautiful and mysterious symbols, has become a powerful magnet for mystical, spiritual, and alternative theories. These interpretations step outside the cautious boundaries of mainstream archaeology and linguistics, offering more romantic and sometimes fantastical explanations for the disc's purpose and origin. For some, the disc is not a mere historical artifact, but a sacred object imbued with magical properties, a tool for meditation or a message from a higher consciousness. The spiral design is often seen as a key element, representing spiritual journeys, cosmic cycles, or the coiled energy of life itself. One popular strand of mystical thinking connects the disc to lost continents and forgotten wisdom, such as the legendary civilizations of Atlantis or Lemuria. Proponents of these ideas suggest that the Minoans were the inheritors of this ancient knowledge and that the disc is one of the few surviving relics of that time. In this view, the disc is not just a hymn or a calendar, but a repository of profound spiritual or scientific secrets. The symbols are interpreted not as syllables of a language, but as archetypal symbols with deep esoteric meanings, capable of unlocking hidden potentials of the human mind. The disc becomes a mandala, a focus for contemplation that can lead to spiritual enlightenment. The theory of movable type has also led to some truly out-of-this-world ideas. The fact that this advanced concept appeared so early and then vanished for thousands of years has led some fringe theorists to a dramatic conclusion. The disc is evidence of extraterrestrial contact. In this narrative, the disc is a technological artifact left behind by alien visitors, or perhaps a message given to the Minoans by a more advanced civilization. The symbols are seen as a star map, a technical blueprint, or a cosmic greeting. While such theories have no basis in archaeological evidence, they speak to the deep sense of awe and wonder that the disc inspires. It seems so far ahead of its time that for some, a human origin is harder to believe than an alien one. These alternative interpretations, while not accepted by the academic community, are an important part of the disc's story. They highlight its power as a cultural symbol. The disc has become a blank slate onto which people can project their own hopes, beliefs, and fascination with the unknown. It shows that objects from the ancient past do not just belong to scholars, they belong to everyone. The mystical and fringe theories, however unlikely, demonstrate the human need to find meaning in mystery and to connect with something larger than ourselves. They ensure that the Phaistos Disc remains not just a puzzle for the mind, but also a source of wonder for the soul. Today, the Phaistos Disc continues to hold its secrets close. More than a century after its discovery, it remains as enigmatic as it was to Luigi Pernier on that summer day in 1908. It has resisted every attempt at decipherment, standing as a proud monument to the limits of our modern knowledge. In an age where information is instant and answers are just a click away, the disc teaches us a valuable lesson in humility. It reminds us that the past is a vast and complex place, and that there are some mysteries we may never solve. This is not a failure, but a beautiful and important part of the human experience of history. The enduring appeal of the disc lies in this very insolvability. It is a perfect mystery. It's tangible. You can see it and almost touch it, yet its meaning floats just beyond our grasp. The combination of its unique spiral form, its charming pictorial symbols, and its complete isolation in the archaeological record makes it irresistible. It sparks our curiosity and invites us to become detectives, to piece together clues from a vanished world. The disc engages us not with answers, but with questions. Who made you? What do you say? Why were you the only one? These are the questions that keep the story of the Minoans alive in our collective imagination. The Phaistos Disc is more than just an uncracked code. It is a bridge to our shared human past. When we look at the figure of the running child or the delicate flower, we feel a connection to the person who created that stamp almost 4 millennia ago. We recognize a shared humanity, a desire to represent the world and communicate our thoughts. The disc is a testament to the universal human drive for expression. Its silence does not mean it has nothing to say. Instead, its message may be that some things are meant to inspire wonder, rather than provide simple facts. It encourages us to imagine, to speculate, and to dream about the world of the Minoans. In the end, the Phaistos Disc may be one of history's greatest teachers. It teaches us that not everything can be neatly categorized and explained. It shows us that the past can still surprise us, and that there is still so much we do not know. As we continue to search for answers, the disc remains a symbol of the ultimate quest for knowledge. Its spiral path leads us not to a final destination, but on an endless journey of discovery. And perhaps that is its true purpose, to forever challenge us, to fire our imaginations, and to remind us that the most profound mysteries are the ones that endure.